I've made a lot of videos discussing about how we should improve the way our cities and towns are designed. I tell a lot of people that the current system is problematic. We have seriously automobile dependent cities where basically every time you have to get outside your home, you got to hop on the car as the most efficient use of transportation. Our cities are rigged with roadways and asphalt, and the uses are segregated. In other words, the retail is one section of the city, the office is one section of the city, the condos are separated, and then the residential is segregated by income. Very rich people live here, middle-income people live here, and then you have townhomes and condominiums that are separated. And then they're separated by a hierarchy of large mega roadways. And these mega roadways create these vast freeway systems. And so a lot of that creates a lot of concerns. It creates a lot of dependency on foreign oil. In other words, now again, I don't believe in peak oil. I don't believe that we're running out of oil. But if there's a situation where the currencies are being devalued and we're having manipulation in the oil prices, and also there's other factors like we could have an oil embargo. We don't have a plan B to get around. We're basically doomed. And if there's alternative fuels, I mean, how is that going to replace the whole equation? Because oil is used in other aspects too, to pave the asphalt, to manufacture the car. Then there's other concerns. Pollution that wrecks the sky. And by the way, I'm against, or I really don't believe in global warming, but pollution problem is seriously concerned, especially when people have to hop on the car to buy a loaf of bread, even though that they're living in a condominium that's segregated from the retail centers, which could have been above the stores. Then there are other problems. There's health concerns, growing stress, growing cancer, growing traffic accidents. There's a lot of other factors that come to play. Then there's growing traffic congestion or traffic inefficiency. All these roads feeding into freeways, creating these long, long commutes and long, long distance trips. Okay? Then there's another important factor. The social and the artistic values decline. We are segregated and we spend too much time in our homes and our cars. And what ends up happening is we have very little opportunities to know our neighbors, to know our communities, to get together. We have very little places that have a lot of artistic value, that improve our living environments. These are a lot of the consequences of this car-dependent development that we have been used to, that has been going on for over 80 years, okay, since a lot of these practices have changed. And again, one of the things is that what I'm trying to do is we have to change our development practices. We have to start implementing mixed-use, transit-oriented, walkable cities, that the streets are connective. We have basically cities that are diverse, and traffic is redistributed. And again, I want to make things that are clear. In order to create these kinds of environments that are walkable, you don't have to live in a cram-packed environment to get it. You can have a detached home with a yard around it. We've done it for many, many years, many, many decades ago, and we can do it again, okay? And I can show you some plans that I've drawn. I can show you one of these days how this thing is going to work. You don't have to abandon your detached home. And why do we have this kind of development that's so car-dependent? Is it because of the free market? No. There's a lot of myths that have been associated with it. Regulations, codes, subsidies have played into the system that creates regulations for street dimensions, building setbacks, parking minimums, where the housing, where the retail, where the office is going to be, how the roads are planned out, where are the height requirements. A lot of these regulations that make my ideas illegal. So, and most of all, this was pushed by a lot of corporations. Okay, General Motors, they pushed to get rid of the streetcar suburbs. They pushed to pass the Interstate Highway Act, as well as Standard Oil. And there's a lot of corporations that benefit from it. Walmart, fast food chains, big box retailers, car companies, you name it. Now, I want to make some things clear, okay? And I want everybody to listen. And I want to be heard in a way that I'm not misunderstood. There have been people who have been fighting for similar ideas that I have. There are the people who are called smart growth and new urbanists, okay? They've been existing for more than 20 years. Now let me tell you something. I'm not associated with them, or I don't fully support their ideas. Some of the things they do is admirable, but I'm not on the same boat. I don't support organizations that have ties with the Department of Urban and Housing Development, that have ties with the EPA, and believes that we should change because of conspiracy theories like peak oil and global warming, which has a lot of evidence to prove that they're false. And then, of course, I have other different ways of planning cities. But then again, I'm not associated with these people, and I want people to wake up the truth. Now, there have been people that have been trying to attack new urbanism and smart growth. And again, I'm not with these people. When I've been doing a lot of research, there have been people like the Soverignty International program, which is run by Michael Coffman. And he's been doing a lot of documents mentioning that global warming is a fraud, global warming is a scam, they're trying to control our land, and they're using smart growth to implement us in high-density cities, where owning a single-family home is illegal and owning private property is legal. Again, these are theories, and again, that's why I'm not really into smart growth, because I don't agree with a lot of these things that they're trying to do. However, this guy is not showing you the whole story. He's not showing you the other side of the coin. In other words, he tells you the other side of the coin looks ugly, but he doesn't tell you that this side of the coin is problematic as well. It's like you're a judge and you're a court case and you have two guilty people that are trying to file suit against each other, and you're taking the side of one person but not listening to the other person. This is totally neglect. This is totally misleading information. And what we have to do is to really expose the truth. And so I decided to see what's really going on. In fact, I did a phone call today, and one of the things I call their headquarters. They're located somewhere in the state of Maine, and I did a long-distance phone call. And one of the things is that they mentioned that, well, yeah, we're against smart growth, and it's about excessive government control, but they're supporting the system that I'm trying to attack that is heavily infested with government control and regulations and subsidies. And they're saying, well, that's okay because it's done in a local level and it's been done by the voters. Oh, yeah. Well, when people vote on things, usually it's a full democracy of the society. Well, what if those votes were rigged? What if those voters were misled? You know? What if, I mean, seriously, we have a lot of people who are trying to vote on things, trying to get Wall Street reform. And that's not really happening. So we have a voting system, but the situation with Wall Street is not being reformed, even though that we have a voting system. So what's your point? Usually voting in situations like that is not a very representative system of the public. In fact, I interview a lot of people that live in these car-dependent environments. They want change. They want different living environments. That they can still own their single-family home with a yard around it. And then what she doesn't tell you is that a lot of these codes and regulations were pushed by corporations. They were pushed also at the federal level. Remember, it was corporations that lobbied to pass the Interstate Highway Act to manipulate our cities and towns. Remember, it was General Motors in 1939 that wanted to change the way our cities and towns were built with the Futurama theme at the World's Fair. They wanted to segregate residential, commercial, and industrial and create our whole society car-dependent. So they talk about that one side, smart growth, is about government control, but they don't talk about that the other side is heavily infested by government regulations, which is basically the car dependencies that we've been creating in the last 80 years, which is the one that I live right now. I mean, this is just totally misleading, and they're totally being misrepresenting about what's going on. Let me tell you about who this guy really is. And again, I'm not totally against his views, but he's not showing you the other side of the coin. His name is Michael Coffman, and he has been on the Alex Jones show many times. And one of the things, not only that, but he has also been interviewed in the documentary film by Alex Jones, Endgame, the Blueprint for Global Enslavement. And he's mentioning that smart growth is problematic. But again, what Alex Jones needs to realize is that the system that he's trying to support is problematic too. And I don't even know why Alex Jones is having the desire to interview this guy or really wake up and see what's really going on. And not only that, but a lot of his facts come from sources from the people that I've been trying to attack. In other words, he tells you that smart growth caused home prices to go higher. And again, because of their whole urban growth boundary. Now, the truth is the home price surge happened in the inner city of Portland. It did not happen in the exurbs. And Portland is still building despite the urban growth boundary and despite the economic slowdown. Single-family homes with detached yards that are car dependent. He's not showing you the whole picture. And he gets his facts from the Cato Institute, the Reason Foundation, organizations that are funded by Koch oil industries, organizations that are being hurt by this whole transit-oriented walkable city move. So, he's getting a lot of corporate manipulation from all of this. And the fact of the matter is, look, there have been people that are trying to hijack the ideas of trying to reform our urban societies, okay? Look, we do need transit-oriented neighborhoods, okay? We do need walkable cities. We do need to remove the codes that make it illegal for cashiers like me, or I'm sorry, entry-level workers that I am to live above the store so it can be affordable. But when they're not showing you the entire situation, they're totally distorting the facts, okay? And when it's being hijacked as a bad intention, which is smart growth, according to a lot of my investigations, that's not what we need to do. It's like mentioning the fact that we need Wall Street reform. Everybody agrees with that. But when Goldman Sachs is behind the Wall Street reform, that's not something that we should consider. The labeling is a deception. So we really have to know what we're trying to do. And what we really have to do is try to expose this organization, Soverignty International, that yes, some things they're right, but some things that they're not revealing. And some things they're not revealing that should be a really clear bottom line, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we face a lot of challenges. And I've been spending a lot of years in my life trying to think every day how to improve the way our cities work and the way our cities are designed, okay? And hopefully as this economy recovers, hopefully we'll have better environments for many years and generations to come, and the system that's currently dominating will be a thing of the past. Fight with me. Fight for these ideas and do what you can to expose the truth and the misleading facts that are not presented by this organization. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to give you the contact information in this video at the bottom of your screen to see, and if you can, please contact them and tell them that you defend these ideas that I'm trying to advocate for. Thank you very much, and please stand with me.